Hi, this is Tattoo Kid 1991, and today we're doing just a wee live stream of how to install Linux, more likely. So, if you prefer to use Linux instead of using, let's say, example, like instead of using Fedora and stuff like that, or not Fedora, sorry, my head's not wayward today. My head's a wayward today, so I'm not making sense today. Um, just to try out a few things. So we're going to try. So we're not going to bother with these. I'm going to start a sort of a new one. That was from another topic, but I'll do that some other time. Um, but today we're going to try and install Linux Mint to see how we get on with it. So we'll click New, and we're going to put in Linux Mint. So open Linux Mint. They kind of has Ubuntu or we call that. So they kind of has that. So we're going to call it Linux Mint and then put beside it testing out, or just call it testing. And then now we have to look for the software, which I already, as you see, already select a couple of softwares here. So I have a Windows 10 Pro, the very old version, 1803. I have a Fedora KDE Plasma Live desktop version of it. And I also have Linux Mint 22.1 Cinnamon. So we're going to do the 22.1 Cinnamon edition. And we're going to skip this. And so that's us ready. So we're going to hit next. And we'll give ourselves a little, at least about 8 gigs should be enough. And we'll get ourselves about 4 should be enough. Or we'll do, no, it's a bit too much. We'll do 4. That should be enough. For storage, we'll go up to at least 145 gigs. That's all it needs, because we're not going to really put nothing big in it, so it's not going to be. So it should be enough. So let's put that, and then finish. But we're not quite done yet, so we have to do a few settings. So let's see. So I don't want to do nothing on this. So we'll go to our system, and we have to go to our processor. Let's have a look. So I'm going to tick these. And we don't need to worry about this. So we'll go to our display. We want to put that up to 128. Keep everything else the way it is. Storage, we don't have to deal with storage at the minute, but I'll show the partition part of this if you're using VirtualBox. And I can only explain it better through the VirtualBox. But if you ever want to use like Windows 10, or if you have Windows 10 and want this, but you want to keep Windows 10, but you want to use also Linux Mint or Fedora or whatever Linux you prefer to use. And my two I use is Linux Mint and Fedora, but you see I do have Windows as well, because there's some programs I still use in Windows, and so and there may be programs that I probably don't even know may have a something similar to this. I don't know, but I'll go through it and I'll learn it in the future. But for now, we're going to just try this out. So we're good now. So we should be ready now to start this, because we have our optional drive that's ready set up, and the next month is drive is set. So we're going to start it now. So everything's all set up now, up and running. So let's get it started. And we should go through it, no problem. I've been doing this that many times, so this should go through. So there it is. So let's get rid of this. So it does come up a wee box. Usually it does. I never understood that, but sometimes it goes up big screen, other times it just turns into this wee tiny box. But we'll stick with this top one here. And let's install. Yes, you want to tell me about the mouse thing? Oh, there we go. It just stretched to the bigger screen, I see. Well, not full screen, but at least it's big enough for you to see. Excuse me. My throat's a bit dry today. A wee drink. So we're getting the live version of Linux here. As you can see, there's our Linux. Oops. We're on the headset. I just want to make sure we're on the headset. Right. So here's our Linux Mint. You probably know about Linux. So now we're going to. I just want to go into settings very quick and just do a few changes. I know I shouldn't even do that. I should install Linux first and then do it from there. But the last time when I was installing Linux, it took a wee bit, and the screen just went off, and it sort of failed my installation. So that's why I want to make sure I turn these features off live, and I like a wee bit of warmth to it. So I'll put it about here. It should be warm enough. And power, let's turn that to never. This is a virtual box, so we don't need to have anything on it. And in themes, we're going to make it dark mode. So just give it a minute, it's a bit slow. Put it to dark mode. And I like the wee bit of pinky colour to it as well. So there we go. So that's us up and running now. So we'll put now Linux Mint, install it. So just wait now for this to install it. You notice it says 2017 and the time is actually 9:17, so it should be 21. I never understood why it does that with Fedora too. I don't understand that. But anyways, it doesn't matter. I'll fix all that anyway once we do the installation. So I want to do Linux Mint first because just to show what Linux Mint sort of looks like and what they do for the tutorial, or not the tutorial. Well, tutorial thing will come up as well, but they show you the terminal and so on. So I use a few programs called Snap, and Linux doesn't want you to use Snap features, especially Linux Mint. They're really desperate to trying to keep you off it. So I never understood why, because the Snap feature seems to have some programs that I always want to get. And don't get me wrong, they have a Flatpak version of it, so which is handy. But the Snap has the latest version, so that's why I want to get the Snap feature. And the Snap feature on Linux Mint, it is a tough thing to do, where you have to there's a sort of a glitchy way you have to do it, which I know it's not good to do that. But we're going to install multimedia codes. We want to have that ticked, always tick this. That comes very handy. So you get the drivers, preparing Ubuntu drivers. So that's the handiest thing to have. And you get your third party stuff and so on and so forth. So it comes handy that way. So when we get to the hard drive part, there's two ways you can do it. Well, you can do it many other ways as well. But if you want say if you have Windows and you want there used to be an option to see you can install alongside with Linux, or alongside with Windows. One option. So you can install Linux and then you have alongside Windows. So you have Windows with Linux. But that's going to just install onto your drive. That's your host drive that you're using. But if you want to put it on the other drive, so you have two drives, for example. So you have one for Windows and you have the other drive for Linux. So you don't see that in this here because this is a VirtualBox, so you don't really see that. So it just says erase disk and install Linux Mint. But on your screen, if you still have Windows or any other operation system, and then you want to and then you want to put Linux Mint alongside, but you want to keep it on your same drive, well, the OU be a top option. Will say install alongside the Windows, so you can install Linux Mint alongside with Windows, or install Linux Mint alongside Windows. So it'll be something similar like that anyway. And then this option comes up: erase disk and install Linux. You can have a brand new, fresh thing, just Linux only. But there's another one called something else. So this part can be a wee bit, excuse me, be a wee bit harder to do, because if you want to install Linux Mint still, but you still want to keep Windows, but you want to put Linux Mint on another drive, you have to use this option here called something else. And when you hit continue on that, you should get two drives. So you have this one here, this is SDA, and you have another one then, we'll say SDB. And if any other drives will go SDC, SDD, and SDE, and so forth, so forth, and it'll show you every partition here. So you have one will be local disk for your Windows. That'll be usually on SDA. So you have to move to SDB to move it to your next drive. So you click on SDB and then you click New Partition Table. And make sure you select this too, to SDB, because you want to put your bootloader installation on the SDB, not SDA. Because that's going to put the boot thing on your first drive. But we'll do that sometime in the future. But for now, we're just going to install Linux, just the other way. But I will be doing the partition sometime on stream as well, so don't worry about that. But I have to make another partition drive, and I have to install. Unfortunately, the Windows doesn't. If you have Windows in this, and you want to install Linux Mint alongside of it, for some reason it doesn't work because of the way the partition is. It's a bit complicated, to be honest with you, but let's just say it won't actually work because Windows is using Windows operation system and Linux is using Linux operation system. So the way I had to get this to work from the begin with, I had to install Linux Mint and then Fedora in the second drive, on the second part on that. And then because Linux Mint uses the old version of Grubhub as well, or Grub, what do you call that? The Fedora uses more the latest version of it. So if I want to use the Grubhub for Linux Mint will not work. You have to use the latest Grubhub version from Fedora, and then it'll work on both ways then. But I had to swap the drives over to get it to work. It's absolutely complicated, so I'm not going to go with this. I'm not going too far for our first part. So we'll just leave that for now, and I'm just going to go back and just do the installation the proper way. So let's just say like you did brand new. So let's just install it just Linux Mint only this time. So we're just going to install Linux Mint only on this. But I will do one for if you want to install Linux Mint alongside with another drive. But I know it's going to be a lot of complicated, so I have to install Fedora and then keep Fedora up there, and then I can go on the Linux Mint and figure out how to get that installed. I have to figure that out because their Grubhub is more older fashioned, so I don't know how it's going to work. But I'll try that sometime in the future. But for now, we're just just doing the installation type just to keep it erase disk and install Linux Mint. So if you want to just have Linux Mint on its own, this is the option you go for. And it's just simple as that. Just hit install now and it will just install. So I am connected to a wired network, so it takes a lot longer when you do the installation for a wired network because it's connected to the Wi-Fi, so it's going to install all the language files and so on, so it takes a lot longer. So we want the process to go a wee bit shorter. So I'm going to see and sort of turn off the internet on this. I don't know if I can. Oh, no, I can't. I could do not attach, but I'm not going to do that. So I just have to do alongside with. We just have to keep it connected, unfortunately. Oh, here we go. We'll just switch that off. There we go. Problem solved. So what it does is it's just going to install the default of this. So it's not going to download extra files and so on and so forth. So it'll get through the installation process a lot quicker than taking it longer when connected to the internet. So don't worry, I'll put that back on again once we install this. So this will come up here. And if you're doing something else, we have to create ESP extension. But if you have another drive, we have to do swap and put in the storage side for swap area as well. Yes, it's a bit complicated, but that's the way it is. So the partition 1 will be the swap. Partition 2 will be the ESP, and the partition 3 will be the extension, the main drive itself that runs the program. Then you notice it doesn't show you partition 1 on this because it doesn't need it because it's just using the one drive. If you had 2 drives, you have to do it that way. So not from New York, so I have to just click here. So I'll keep London. I don't know, I'm not going to show my actual location, private for private reasons. So just keep it on London. But I'll give you a hint, not too far from there. I'll be around that country somewhere, but I'm not going to exactly tell you where. So right, let's get started. So for your name, so I'm just going to call my username. So Tattoo-Kate1981. I suppose I can keep it like this. Keep that. Now I'm just going to put a wee short password on this, so I'm just going to put 0. I don't recommend you to put 0 on it. Put a big password. The better password, the better. The bigger it is, the better. This is just temporary for now, because I know no one else is going to get into my machine and mess about with, because there's nothing there to mess about with. So I honestly don't care. So that's my main machine here, but still they have to get through my main machine to get to here. So but that's not going to happen. So let's start. So we're going to just start the installation, not waste any more time. So let's have the copying files here now. So this might take a wee bit. Unfortunately, I can't skip this because this is a live version. So you just have to wait for it. You can always come back if you want. Just go what you need to do and come back again. Because this might take a wee while. Yeah, so I'll be doing the Linux Mint, and then I'll be doing Fedora, the next one. Now, I don't know very well how they do with Arch Linux or that Basil, or I forget if it's called Basil or is it Basil or something. I don't know. That's the one that looks like it's like related to Steam, for gaming kind of type. So I couldn't tell you how to install those because I never experienced that yet through the VirtualBox. So I can honestly cannot tell you how to do that. I tried to install Arch one time. I had difficult issues to do so, and because it came up a terminal and I had to install it from that way. But I don't know, or else I'm using the wrong software to do it. So, but I don't know. But I find it quite difficult. So the two simple ones I had so far was Linux Mint, and then this and Fedora, and those are my two favorite operation systems anyway. Linux Mint's sort of more limit, and Fedora is more open. Even the Linux Mint is supposed to be open source, but I still find Linux Mint is sort of very limit to certain things. As Fedora, I can do a few more better features, the stuff that I want to do. So, yeah, I don't know, but I'm not really sure now. But when I was using Linux Mint, when you try to install Snap, freaking unbelievable. It is a difficult thing to do. So I can go to the terminal and try and install Snap on my on Linux, and it'll not work at all. You have to use a program, which again, that won't even work either at times because I've been trying it many times and it always fails. But sometimes I get lucky and it goes through. So I will show you that later on once this here is finished. So I used to have more files than that. So if I was connected to the internet, I would have more files. No, you can escape that, but I'm not going to. I never escape these things. I'll just make sure everything is installed. So let's do the language packs, and see if I don't see if I put the internet on this. Let me tell you, that will take even longer to do. That's why I turned off the internet. So I can fly through. It just has the default programs in, and then I can just update them if I need to. So, which I don't need to, but I'm going to. I will update the system so it stays up to date, and then I'm going to do the same end with that with the Fedora as well. And when I install Fedora, and then when I install Snapd first, and then install then the snap feature of the, like if I want to use a video player or any, like a Prism launcher for Minecraft, for example, I can do just that then from Snap. Sometimes I have to restart the computer for it to work. So, but free Linux, installing Snapd is a hard thing to install. Really, really is. I don't understand why they Linux Mint have to make it so limit. Fedora, I can just put in no problem. So as you see now, installation is complete. So we're going to restart. We can continue testing if you want, but we're going to restart. I'd rather use the machine. So you'll see this here disappears. See, it goes grey now. It even tells me to remove it. And then press enter. It's already removed. So now we're going to press enter. But the Fedora, you have to do it yourself. You have to remove it because otherwise they'll keep it running. So now that logs us right in, and then I just press number 0 and hit enter. So that logs me in now to Linux Mint and the welcome screen. So let's go. So welcome to Linux Mint. Welcome to your new operation system. We're welcome to guide you through the first steps to show you how to find help and where to go, where to get more information about Linux Mint on the behalf of our development team and everyone involved in the project. We'll like to thank you for choosing Linux Mint. We hope you enjoy using using it as much as we enjoy working on it. Well, have a great time and don't hesitate to send us your feedback. And that's Linux Mint, Cinnamon 64-bit, and let's go. So first thing, we're going to keep this, we don't really need this because again, we're in VirtualBox, but if you're using the computer, I recommend using that, but keep this to last. Do what you need to do here first and come back to that. Keep that to last. So first thing we're going to do the desktop colors. That's what I want to do anyway. So I keep it on mint white and put black, or dark, sorry. And I'm going to have a nice beautiful pink. And now I'm going to hit the font settings. And I like changing this to the Xcursor Pro Dark. I like that one. You can use any other ones if you prefer, but I like this one. And I'll just hit close now on that. So our next thing now, we're going to go to, I usually do the driver manager, but I'm going to leave that as well, because again, we're not doing gaming on this. But if you're doing gaming, I recommend you to use the driver. So just launch it and then install the latest driver. And we have media codes, but we already have that installed, so we don't have to really worry about this one. But you can launch it if you want. So you can check to see the codes isn't available. So that puts the codes in for you and all. And you can see them ready to connect to the internet too. So that will download all the codes that we needed. And install it then right afterwards. So I don't know how many this is going to be. There's a couple of programs here still working on. So this is only 8 gigs, so that's why it takes away the. Yep, let's do the install. Let's do the install codes. And put 0. Well, they do take so long, don't they? And then all of a sudden just goes 100%. Once that there goes away up the, like that's only bytes, that's not even kilobytes. But when that hits the past 900, and then just goes to 100% then. But the megabytes, when the megabytes come up, it goes up no problem. So you can just do these. Like I didn't have to do this, but I'm just doing it right now since I've already started. No point canceling now. Just like do its thing. I was going to go through the settings and get everything sorted in that. And I'll show you. I'll explain the end about the Snap-D. And yes, I do put ad blocker in this too, just for the safety thing, stop him looking ads jumping up on your screen continuously. So I put ad blocker in to protect that. So that'd be very handy that way. So yeah. So I'm just waiting now on this to finish. And just keep moving the mouse because I know the screen's going to turn off. I know it doesn't turn off till 5 minutes, but still. This is the mouse I use here for if I'm using Linux Mint. If I'm using any other, so for example, Fedora, I just use this default mouse that they use. Does that say ugly? It does say ugly. Look at that. Plugins ugly. GStreamer 1.0 plugins ugly. Where did they make these names from? I do not know. That's so crazy. Really is. So I'm just waiting on this now to go through, and you can see down here I'm on Twitch, but because I'm streaming Twitch through OBS, and it's a very handy program to use. So this could probably take about, I'm not really sure how long this is going to take. Like, I love to cancel just to continue, but I could mess up all this, so I don't want it. I don't want this messed up. So I have to reinstall the program over again then. So I might not even, but just I don't want to take that risk. So I just let it do the installation. So still download the programs, and then I'll have to do the installing. You know what? I'll cancel that. What's this? No, cancel all these. Oh, there we go. Stopped it. I know don't do what I just did. So if you want the codes, install them, but just be careful not to do that. What I just done, and you can update your program by using this. So you can use the update manager to update your stuff. I usually go into the system settings, and I do everything from here. But first things first, I'm going to put the nightlight on. So it's handy as ray and dark mode. I'll keep it the way it is. Let's do screensaver. We're going to put that to never. So I don't need it because I have VirtualBox. So I don't need any of this. Just make sure. See, it doesn't do the apply on this part. Let's bring this down. Don't need to do anything here. Okay, so we got, that's all we really need to do from here, I think. Oh, I forgot something. We're going to go to the software resources, or software sources. So the main, I usually change this package. And there we go. It's not going to work. Now use the UK detected servers. Detected servers or the Universal Kent UK mirror, or UK fast, or anything around these here ones. So I'll stick with this one, and do the refresh now on this. It's a bit slow today. It's usually never this slow when I run these. My gosh, how slow day. This is never slow. Like, never slow. You know what? I'll just leave it the way it is. Oh, you can't really close it. Alright, so I'll just leave that down here for now. I'll get back to it. Not wasting any more time. So you have the software manager, so you can actually look at the software wherever you prefer. But I'm going to do the terminal part. I just understand this at all. I don't know why. It does never take that long. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually give it a restart. They just to speed things up a bit, because that's why slow. And that was never slow, ever slow. All the times I've been running this, never ever slow. Right, so now it's running nice and quick again now. So let's try. What was I on the last time? Oh, I. So let's see if this works this time now. Oh, there we go. Already set and all. Nice. So we're done with that. So that's your system information. So it tells you about it. And it's just telling me I'm using firmware. Let's see. Right, so you can update your program by using the Update Manager. You can use this if you prefer. So that gives you all your updates here. Don't worry about this. I think I want you to do this. So this here slows the whole thing down. Let's try this one. I usually don't use this. I just use the terminal. But I do this. So this should be it now. So let's hit refresh. And voila. So you can start playing updates and do what you want here. But I'm not going to be doing that. I don't want to do that. I do it through the terminal. So I'll show you how to do it through the terminal. If you want to do the installation and updates on this. So I want to just go to system settings very quick again. And I'm going to check to see anything changed. No, it's still set to never. That's good. So nothing changed on that. So we can look at the software manager. So I want to use the software manager because I'm going to have to install one program so I can able to sort of glitch away through it to install Snapd, because Snapd will not work on the terminal. Not until you put this in first, and then glitch your way to it then to install Snapd, and then you can use the snap features in. Okay, let's just put in the snap hello world, and that's you. But I always go to the browser and give you a tutorial how to use it. So because this here is the first time, it usually takes a while, but it does come up as you can see. And they do have flat hubs here. So if I want to put in video downloader, I should be able to get it from here anyway. So you have to keep it together. But look, there it is. There's a video down right there. So I don't even need the flat pack or a flat pack, the snap feature. I can just use this. But they have the sort of the older version of it. It's not what you call a new version. Oh, did they update it? 12.26. I must check the flat pack version. Let's see. Or not the flat pack. So they have the system one, which is even older again. Look how old that is. That is old. Does it even have a screenshot of it or nothing? So you can use this, and it's seen updated. Well, it was, I don't know when it's last updated. But this here, the brain program. And it looks like they have another version similar to it. A free open source. So I don't know, but I always use this program here. But there you go. So you can use that, and then you should be able to get PRISM launcher. Right, there it is right here. And also another FlatHub. I think it's just FlatHub only though. Aye, it's just FlatHub only. And that's a 9.4, so that is the latest version of it too. So that's actually quite handy. So that is the latest version of the Prism launcher. Now I use the flat pack, not the flat pack, the snap feature of that. But there you go. So you could just install from here. So that's very handy. So you didn't have to do that then. But if you ever wanted to do Snapd features, you can do that too. But it's not easy to do, especially with Linux. It's not easy to do. But I'll give you an example while I'm on about. So how do SYN, that's what I have to type in. And this is the program right here. This is the program I use. In the system package only. So it has never been updated since. But I'll show you a moment once this installs. But you can see why it has a lot of star reviews. Because this is a good program if you want to get rid of some of the apps that is freaking locked. Yes, there's some apps in this Linux Mint is locked ability. So it means you can't remove them. So some of them you can remove and some of them you can't remove. Well, if you have this is like administrator version. So which gives you permission to remove anything at all from the package. So this is why I like about this. But but on the downside is the Snapd is very difficult to install on that, so I'm going to close it for now. Close that, and then that's just your firewall, so you can just do the firewall if you prefer the firewall. But I don't bother with that, so I don't want to show this no more. So I'm going to go now into settings, and I want to put my thing right here on the side, so I should be on administration. There it is. I want to add it to the panel, so I have access right down here. So first thing first, we're going to go into the web browser, and we're going to close that. Don't want that. So we're going to skip this step, skip this step, skip that step, and start browsing. Give it all this. So just by clicking this gearbox up here to give it all this. Sometimes it'll be down the bottom here. Just depends on where it is. Remove this from the toolbar, remove that from the toolbar, and I want to always show the toolbar. Go to extensions, and through here I just keep recommendations, and I go to add blocker. Don't know if I spelled that right, but hopefully I did. Sometimes when I type things, sometimes the spelling didn't really went through, but oh, it did. So I look now for our ad blocker, uBlock origin, and let's get that over done with. And I also run it on private. There we go. So that's all I have to do, and that's it. So that's that running now. Just to make it more happier. So I want the Firefox to be very strict. So I'm going to go into settings, and let's go to the home page here, and let's have a look. So we don't need anything here. We'll put general anything. I want the dark mode on general. And we did home. We don't need to see search. Keep it on Google. Don't touch much of that. So this is one that we're going to do the most here: privacy and security. So I'm going to put strict and reset all tabs. And I don't want to show any passwords. So turn them off. Don't allow save and follow either. And never restart Firefox. And let's go to settings and back to privacy and clear the history, even we don't really have much in history. And so for Firefox to click data, nope, don't need that. And we don't have to touch anything else, so everything else should be good. But that's us now, well, nice secured. So we do snapd. So just give it a minute to load. And you probably wonder why is it not in dark mode? Just hit refresh. I'll go back and I'll go to dark mode. No, oh, it didn't do it this time. This usually always goes dark mode, or else you have to do it from here. But you may have to sign in for it to work. Doesn't matter. Wait, look, I don't care if it's in dark mode or not. But there's more settings here. But you see it started to bug out a bit. Other settings. There it is. So you have to do from here. So I'll confirm dark theme. So now I do is just go back, and I hit refresh, so it should go dark. There we go. Easier on the eyes. And I use this program here called Snapcraft. And this is Linux Mint, so we have to do on the Linux Mint. So I usually use Fedora, or you could do Debian, but we're going to do Linux Mint. So this is our part now, so we just keep it on here, and we're going to save this right here, and I'm going to move this. So we have this now only, and you don't have to do this up top up here. So we do the update, and then you have to install snapd. So here's the thing I was on about. The snapd will not work. So, but I'm going to do the update just to show, for example. So let's do paste, and then put in password, and let it do its thing. Right, I'll update it, but it needs to be upgraded. But we could do that later. But we just doing what's shown here. We need updates, and now we'll do the snapd. This is what I'm on about. It doesn't work. You see this? As you can see, doesn't work. It may be a bug. Right, let's do it again and see. See, doesn't work. Many times you do it, doesn't work. Oh, whoops. Did the update again. Whoopsie. So the many times you do this, doesn't work. Many times you do it, does not work. So this is the thing I was on about. So I'm going to close this terminal, and we have to use this program right here called Snap Package. So on this, yes, where you can install Snapd, but there's a wee glitch way you have to do it for it to work. So I type in Snapd here, search. So now we're going to put in full screen, and now we scroll down until we see Snapd. Sometimes this doesn't scroll down, so I have to get the wee bar and scroll down myself, and there it is. See, it says Snapd, but it's blank. There's nothing. There's like no writing like this. So when I click on this, mark for installation, doesn't let you. Doesn't work. Many times I try it, doesn't work. See? So how are you going to install this if you can't really get it to work? So there's a wee glitch I usually do. So I usually go to here. It's a Snapd XDG open. I used to click on this and then right click and mark for installation, and that comes up an error. But when I hit close, you see what happens. As you notice, Snapd now has this wee icon and it shows the name. Do you see that? Now, that doesn't mean it will work. Sometimes it glitches, so it might not work. But we hope, fingers crossed, that this will work. But you can notice it has an arrow now, and I can hit apply and download the files. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Let's see if it actually works. So it brings up this file like this. Now to do is just hit apply, and hopefully everything works. So it's going to download all the files for Snapd. So fingers crossed to see if this works. And once this is installed, then you can install Snapd. So now it's going to do the installation part of it, and it seems good so far. And that's all you need. You just need the Snapd configuration. And it's one done. There you go. Changes applied. So now it should turn green to let you know that it's in. So let's go down and see if it's green. There you go. It is green. Install version. But do you notice it blanked out again? So because they don't want you to install Snapd for some reason. Linux Mint for some reason doesn't want you to install Snapd. As you can install Fedora, no problem. I don't even have to do this. So, but now since we have that installed, I always recommend it is to, which I could install it right now, but I don't think it will work. I think you may have to restart your PC. But I'll try and see if it works, but I don't think it will. So let's do this and put in my password. Nah, see, it doesn't work. So we're going to do a reboot. So I could just do it from here, or EBOOT. So it's going to restart the machine, and hopefully it'll let us install. But sometimes, again, it can bug out, and when that install, it will still come up an error. It won't install at all. That happened to me before many times. It made a kind of fool out of me a few times when that happened. But I notice now the clock is in the right time, 22:04, which is 10:04. So let's see now if it lets us do the installation. Put 0. Nah, see, still doesn't work. Can I do it again? Nah. So it still doesn't work for some reason. That's right. It's because we already have it installed. I'm such an idiot. I forgot about this. once you do this, the snapd, that installs the snapd. So that's really installed. So what I have to do is just install the hello world bit in the bottom. That's what I have to do. I made a fool of myself the last time when I did this. Such an idiot. So that package that we just did, that was snapd we installed. But we installed it from here. So that's installed and all. So all we have to do now is install hello world. So this hello world gives you the package that we need for Snap. So that's why we're going to put this in. So it just make sure the Snap runs correctly. So as you can see, you can test your system to the hello world Snap and make sure it runs correctly. So let's see, and I'll close this now because we have the copy. So this should work. So I should download the Core 20, was it Core 20 something? Core something away. I'll download the Core and then it downloads the hello world thing in. And let's do 0. Whoops, just a 1 0. And there it goes. So it's downloading snapd from the stable channel. So just to tell you that we really have the snapd really installed. It's just download now the actual snapd thing itself for from the hello world. So once you install that, you can use the snapd. You can use the snap feature. But that's the way you have to do it to run from the Linux Mint if you want to use Snap. If you don't want to use Snap, don't do it. So it's now just going to do the core because it needs the core for it to work. And then you can see they're both stable, so which is perfect. It's a stable version. It's not in beta. It's not on the other version age. It's actually stable. So it's just very handy if you ever want to use Snap. That's the way you have to do it, unfortunately. I just never understood why they don't want people to use Snap. I don't understand why. Like, there's nothing bad about it. Like, what's bad about using Snap? Like, I understand that they have now programs now can actually run just much programs than the Snap can do. And now it's doing the Hello World. So we just wait on this to finish. There we go. It is now installed. So, which means now I can use any Snap feature on this. So let's say, for example, I want to download that video downloader, the one I was looking for, but I want to use the Snap version of it. So the way they work that is, you do not use sudo apt. We don't want to use that version of it. We don't want to use Flatpak of it. No. The Flatpak version is so weird. I've never understood it because they give you kind of numbers from 1 to 0, and I'll show you that in a moment. Did I say 1 to 0? I meant to say from 0 to whatever number it does, and you have to install like you click number 1, or you key in number 1, and then press enter, installs that file, and then you have to do number 2, number 3, that kind of way. I don't understand that, why that works. I don't know. The Flatpak one was weird through the terminal, but if you want to use the actual software manager and use a Flatpak from there. I'll install just like that, no problem. But doing the terminals, let's just wait for some reason. But I'm going to use snap install, and I want to put in a video downloader. But see the video downloader on this, you have to put a wee mark like this, and then do DOWNLOADER. And see if you're using apt, you put the video downloader together. And if you're using Flatpak, I think you put it together as well. But for Snap, you put a line towards it. So then when you hit enter now and then put in your password, I should now download the Core 22, I think. And then I'll install the video downloader in too. So just give it a minute. It's sort of slow today. It may be slow because I haven't updated this here. So now you see now it's downloading the Snap Core 22. It's quite slow today for some reason. Like it's now doing about 2-3 megabytes. That usually goes between 10 or 12, but it's down to 2 for some reason. It's probably just something to do with the updates. Probably have to do the big updates to sort of improve it more. But the other one that takes too long because the packages are so big, so they'll take too long to do the installation. But yeah, so now you see now it's doing the video downloader itself, and they're both stable, and that's a Snap version of it. So that's going to do that now. So that's you can be able to use the Snap feature if you want to use the Snap feature on the video downloader itself. And you can do the same too with Steam and so on. If Steam has Snap, you can use Snap Steam and it'll download the Steam. But I think APT has Steam as well. That's their own package. Like they have Steam as well. APT1 shows you all the files, every one of them. As for the Snap, they just have the one line with the bar going across, as you just seen, and it has this wee thing here spinning. So usually that takes a wee bit for it to finish. Sometimes it gets done immediately. Sometimes it takes a wee bit long to finish, and you don't want to exit. You don't want because I'll mess up the installation process. So just wait patiently till it's finished. It should say complete or installed, or it just comes up as green box here. It just comes up as green writing to let you know that it's finished. So we just wait on that to finish. Sure. It does take a wee time. I do apologize it takes so long for most of the times for this to finish. As I say, it does take a while. It's always very slow. But it does finish, but that always snap feature when you're downloading the video. Downloader, it always takes that long to finish the installation. My fan just went to the air, so just give me a moment. I'll fix this fan. Just fix this fan very quick. Right, I'm back. Well, it's finished now. So 12.20. Oh, that's the latest version too. So it does install the latest version of that as well. 12.26. Just to double check on that, we'll go to the software. Let's see. But I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Video downloader. Let's check it. Let's check the version here. So the version name showing up now. It says unknown. It says unknown now because I installed it from Snap now. It's not showing here. So hopefully the version will show up there now since that screen popped up. Just wonder if that will come up. There's a system one here, so system one is the old version, and this is the new version. So this should be the latest version. There we go. So 12.26, that's it. And that's just 12.26. So now we'll do snap install PRASM. I think this here's the Geller. I'm not really sure. Or is that has a line on it too? I'm going to just check it. I think this one may be the Geller. Oh, I know this one's different. This one was tricky to get the last time. It is the Geller, but you have to. There's a name you have to put at the end of it. I had difficulties with that the last time, so I'll do from here. So just get this up here, and I'll search for what I'm looking for. So let's go to the Snap Store, and let's search for PRASMLAUNCHER. Okay, so it's not really, so it's not giving me what I'm looking for. Right, so I have to do it the hard way. Oh, you can't remove that. That's the extension. I had to do it the hard way. Well, it's not that. It's not really a hard way, but so that way you can get it up. So Prism Launcher. Well, I should read Linux, but I'll put Linux beside it afterwards. Right, so we could use this, but I always use the snap. But it's not going to give me the snap, is it? Where did I get the last time? No. For Linux, let's try this one, FlatHub. No, not FlatHub. I don't want the FlatHub. Like, I suppose I could download from here. So you don't see any sponsors because thanks to that there. So we want to. You can install from FlatHub, but I don't want to. There is another way to get through it. Command I no, don't want that. APK, nope, don't want that. Nope, don't want to do the Pacman version of this. Nope. DNF, nope. Debian and Ubuntu. You can do it through APT if you prefer, which I could do. But I'm trying to get the snap feature of this. PyOS, nice. So it's not going to give us the feature. It's not going to give us what we're looking for. I had to do it through the other program, the Fedora, but it gives us it's a name you have to put in beside Prism Launcher. If it gives me the name for it, please tell me if I get the name for it. I don't know how to spell this name. Something like that. It's something like this. Only it said something like astronaut or something like that. So something to do with astronaut. You know what I should do? I should just do snap. Didn't even follow that. So let's do snap download. There it is. See the name, Erla? This is what I was looking for. They don't have it, law. They got rid of it. But you can install it. This is the name I'm looking for. You have to put this name in here. ALPON. So let's put that in here now. So ALPON AUT. So that should let you install it now, hopefully. So put in our password. Not found. Right, okay. So that means it must be the launcher. I must have to put a line on it. So let's put a line on here, because the snap always uses the lines on those things for some reason. So let's see if that works. No? So what am I doing wrong here? There's definitely not space and move after effect. I can try it with space, but I don't think it is space. I never see it. Snap ever have a space on it. Space for that. I thought so. I thought that that would not work. So I know that snap feature does work. I'm probably spelling it wrong. See, it's supposed to be the Geller the way it shows here, but it's not. For some reason, it's not getting us the thing to work. But it usually does work, or else it just doesn't work on Linux. But it should work on Linux because we have the snap programs there now. So what I'll do is I'll do a reboot and I'll try it again and see if we can get it to work. Because that's supposed to work at. I just don't understand. So give it a reboot. Don't think I will fix anything, but I just want to try it and see. But then again, see, I still have to get updates as well, because I didn't update anything. But let's try it out now. So I should go back on, or not. But don't worry about it. I'll put in again. Let's see. PRISM LAUNCHER SNAP LANUX download. So we should get that back now again. I'm going to refresh this so it goes dark mode. But there it is. So refresh this so it goes dark mode. There you go. So there's that program again. So let's see if we can get this to work. See, this here is supposed to work. So I'll try this way first. So that's the way it's supposed to. That's the way it's supposed to go. But they're not finding it for some reason. So what I'm going to do is, there's a line here. I'm going to take the line out of that and see if I can space it. Now, did I spell this right too? I have to make sure I spelled that right. ALPONAUT. Yeah, that's right. So I'm going to take out the line on this. I don't think it's together. You know, I'm not really sure if that's together. No. So we're going to try space it. I don't think that works either. So it's supposed to have a line. See, it doesn't work. So you're not supposed to space. When you use the snap feature, you're not supposed to space anything. So I just don't understand why it's not working. Like I could just use the APT version of it. Like it's no big deal. I just thought the snap feature will work because the snap feature worked on the other version. All the times I've been doing with this, snap feature had worked. Or else now they find out about it, so now they're trying to get rid of all the programs from the Snap store itself, so to make sure that people don't actually use Snap. They use Flatpak or use APT version of it or whatever. But that usually does work. I just don't understand why it's not working at all. Install sudo step install. So we're going to take out this dot here. So that's the way it's supposed to be. But they can't find it. Is there something missing? Am I doing something wrong here? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install the Snap Store because this will need it because that they doesn't have the Snap and the thing in it. So we're going to put it in the Snap Store. So we're going to do snap S-N-A-P and then align S-T-O-R-E. So this should work. So we should be able to get the snap and store now running. There we go. So give that now do its thing. So that this will so you can actually download that there Prism Prism launcher from the Snap Store. But I want to see what I'm doing wrong, so I know the next time I do it. So that's that done now. So let's go. That might not work right away because we only just put that in, so we may have to restart it. But you've seen it there now. There's the App Store right here. Let's add this here. So I don't know if this will work right away. Oh, it does? Right. So this is our Snap Store right here. So I'm going to put in VADEO video downloader. And there it is. Why does it say open? Oh, I don't want a video downloader. I already have it. PRISM LAUNCHER. Let's put it together because it's not really showing. Right, no match. Okay. Now this is absolutely weird. Ah, I bet you have to put in. Sometimes it's specific. Let's see, where's that browser? ALPON. AUT. Let's see if that works. Right. Didn't show, so let's put that together and see. Try it this way. Right, that doesn't work either. Just thought that might have worked. They have Debian packets as well, Debian packets too, but we want the snap ones. But It turns out that they don't have it. Let's have a look at games. See what do they have. So we have Steam, we have Discord, Minecraft Launcher. Okay. App bundles. So let's look for game launchers. This is what we want. And it just shows Steam. Okay. There's very limit, aren't they? Like I don't have that problem with when I install Fedora. It's just Linux Mint for some reason. It's just way strict. I can't understand why they don't show the snap feature of that. You know the mouse is a different color. See that? Because the snap has their own version. That's the GNOME or something like that. The name of it, GNOME or something. To see it, that name here. Let's have a look at all the games, but I don't see the purpose why you left for all the games. It's the launcher we need. There's one launcher on me. I don't want to waste too much time because if we can't get, we can't get. It doesn't matter. I can just install the APK version of it, or get just download from the program itself. But I just can't understand. I can't understand why it doesn't show. Like I got no problem from the store itself. Like, but theirs called Discover Store. This is the software manager. And I don't think they support snap features. So they have the launcher here and all. They have a flat pack, and then they have the other pack as well. It's bugged out again. That's so annoying when it bugs out like that. There we go. It's fixed now. So that they just have a flat hop one version of it only. And that's the latest version, which is good. Okay. Right. Showing packages description, even slower search. Right. Well, anyways, say list all types. Okay. I just can't figure out. Well, they have it on here on me, so I can get the flat pack one if I need to for this. But I don't really use Linux Mint anyway. I use the Fedora. So, but you can tell the snap feature does work. I just can't figure out why the launcher doesn't work for here for some reason. But it does work for if you use Fedora. It works perfectly fine. So I'm going to end up doing Fedora very shortly now and do the installation for Fedora. So this is just our Linux Mint. We'll figure out a few other things to do with this as well. But for now, we're just going to do the update and just shut it down. So we're going to do the sudo apt, and then we do install. Whoops, make sure we spell it right too. Install. No, what am I doing? We're not installing nothing, we're updating it. I cannot spell it all day. Update, and so you do two and symbols like that, and space, and then do sudo apt upgrade, and then again, and then shutdown. And that does work, but sometimes it might bug out, and then you have to sort of do it again for it to work, but hopefully it doesn't. So let's now hit enter. So it's going to check for updates, and after that then it'll ask me to install. So I'll go for yes to install the updates. So what it's going to do is going to check for updates now. That's what it's doing now. It's going to check for updates. So some of these may take a bit. That's the total over here. That's why it says 8%. And over the far end here, that's just the programs itself. So that's like a single program percentage for every program. And then this is a total for the whole lot. So this will take quite a while to do. And you call this slow. What do you see? The plasma one? Plasma. Well, that's plasma anyway. It's KDE plasma, but it's Fedora's version of it. You should see that one. But believe it or not, see for the actual installation and so on, it runs way faster than the next month. Believe it or not. So it says 1 day, 152 days, 9 hours and 51 minutes and 27 seconds. Stretch it a bit. You can do it through this way if you prefer, but I just do it through the terminal. I'm doing it through the terminal for all the time, really. So I always prefer to use the terminal. But you can keep your packages up to date and so on. And that will explain more about the partitions and so on as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep Linux Mint there, do the testing, but I'm going to install Fedora alongside. Well, not alongside because I don't have enough storage for that to work. So I'll have to install like another Linux Mint edition, and then I can install alongside them with that in some other time in the future. But I could show you how to install from if you want. If just say you want another hard drive and put a bigger hard drive on, or same drive space doesn't really matter really. They say the bigger the storage, the quicker your processor will go, along with your 8 gigs of storage. 8 gigs is grand enough. That's just slow because it's using a virtual machine, and I could improve it by go on devices and then insert this. What that does then, gives you more customized to it, so you can easily drag and drop stuff a lot better in it. But I always use the USB settings and go to USB and then just whatever pen I have in there, I'll just click on that pen and then I'll have access into this. And then when I'm done, usually tell you to unmount it. I don't. I'll leave it mounted and go to the USB device and untick it. So it'll automatically move in back to your computer and open up in from your computer to do what you need to do from there. It's as simple as that, really. It's going to take ages to finish. That is definitely going to take a while to finish. It's way too slow. Like as you know, my computer's not that really slow. It's fast. My computer is very quick. No hassle with the computer whatsoever. It's just the virtual machine itself that's making it run slow. Because you can see my mouse is not lagging at all. It's pure smooth. It's just this virtual machine. It's just it's quite slow for some reason. And look how slow that is. It's only going like the 1 megabyte of per speed. So yeah, that's going to take a while to finish. Like I don't even have to even do this really, because that's just only a test. I can just remove this all in general and just shut down the PC. I can just close this, close terminal. Don't have to worry about that. Don't care if it gives me an error. So what? Um, we could just keep it the way it is. What I'm going to do now is shut down this. And before I finish off, what I'm going to do now is, as you can see right here, I have Linux Mint and Fedora. And you can see I have 2 drives, because you can do that, by the way. But I'm going to do from on this one. So as you can see, we only have the 1 drive. So what we're going to do is we're going to settings, go to storage, and then go to SATA, and it'll come up a plus. This is add a hard disk, and we'll create one and do this. Don't touch any of that, just hit next, and we'll put in another 140 watts. We'll do 169, and we select this one and hit choose. So what we have now is another hard drive. So just imagine that you put, it might say not attached, but don't worry about it. It will attach itself, right? But the way this works is when I do the installation, the partition will automatically know that you have both drives. So it's just like when you open up your computer and you want to put another hard drive in, you have an attachment and then the wee amount to sit your drive in. So you can write, now I have another 1 or 2 terabyte storage or 500 gigabyte storage, whatever storage do you have on your solid disk drive or hard drive or whatever drive you have. You can plug that in as like a secondary drive, and then you can use that secondary drive in to install another program in. So if you had like Windows, which I can't really show you explain through Windows, through VirtualBox, because you have to have at least a Linux Mint running, and you can use Linux Mint with this still shows, by the way. I have already tried it on this, but it says Other on this one. But it does work on this too. I usually just put the Other because I just thought it just works better. They put the Other. So, and Linux Mint still works with Other as well. So what I'll do now is, oh, I didn't. Oh, it must automatically remove my drive. Let's put that back in again. Hit OK. So now we have 2 drives. And here's the thing now. I'll have to move this drive up to here. I will show that on the next video. But I'm just going to show you right now what it'll be like once I install the drive. So beforehand, we're going to remove this drive. So we're going to take this box. Right, so it's not going to remove, so I'm going to have to do it the hard way. So let's do it here. And we're going to remove. There we go. So we keep this drive here. Right, so and then on an empty drive, we're going to put on Fedora. So we take this box. So that's our optional drive now. So when I start this, it should come up as a Fedora KDE. So let's do that. So I should come up now, Fedora, as you can see. So we'll start Fedora Live. I'm not going to install it right away. I'm just going to show you example what it'll be like. Well, what it's like when you actually use just the one drive on this. The partition on Fedora is completely different compared to Linux Mint. Right? They gave me a small screen again, which is perfectly fine. I can just stretch it out. So I'll go in here very quick, and let's put it here. This is the best height for it. Keep, and there we go. So it's nice and big enough so you can see the drive. So what I'm going to do just right now, I can't stick a screen too bright, so I'm going to darken this screen down. So go to colors, select this type and apply that, and then put their night light on as well, just to give it more night light. And I always put the 5.7. That should be perfect. And I usually do the programs like shut the power and so on, but I'm not doing the installation, so no, I'm not going to worry about that right now. So we'll just get into the installation part to show you what it's like if you just had the one drive and you want to install alongside with your other drive. So we know we already have Linux installed, Linux Mint, so we want to see what it'd be like if you want to install the other thing. Why is that an error backwards? See, look, it seems to do that all the time for me. So we select our partition, and you see that it has the drive right here. So you can do custom, you can do advanced custom, but automatic is the best option to go for. And make sure you tick this box here because you want to install alongside with it. So another way to get that to work, you have to shrink your extended partition. So see why it's 145 gigabyte. You need to make a partition, otherwise it'll not work. So when you hit done now, brings up this. So this is what it will look like. So if you have Windows, the Windows usually be down here. I will say Windows, or could be a local disk or something like that. So because this is Linux, Linux's version is just says Linux Mint. So you can see here. Right, we don't want to delete that. Do not, and I mean do not delete it, because you're going to it's going to delete. You want to shrink it, so you hit shrink, and do not do that with the EFI or the BIOS. It won't let you do with BIOS only, but do not do that with the EFI system partition. You want to do it on the actual drive itself where Windows is installed on, or Linux. And Now, I only have 134, so I don't know if that'd be enough for it to work, but you can shrink it down. So up here is where your Linux or your Windows drive storage will be. So it'll be 62 gigs when you have it there. And then the reclaim 72 gigs is your blank space. And once you have that set, you just reclaim space, and that's it. That's it ready. And you'll be going, oh dear, you just shrunk it. I did not shrunk it. When I finished these here and hit begin installation, then it will. But because it is not begin installation yet, I can just click on it and hit done again. And as you can see, it's back up again. Hasn't touched. You see it now? Didn't touch it at all. So when I hit shrink again, as you can see, it went back up to where it was. So I can just shrink it down again. See what I mean? And I can keep doing that as many times as I want. And you can have preserve as well. So it brings it back where you want it. You can do delete as well, but I don't recommend it. But you can delete and then hit reclaim space. And I'm going to do this for purpose ways. So you can hit delete and that's it. It's automatically now going to delete the thing. And then it will just install Fedora only. That's the way that's going to work when you hit delete. But we're not going to do that. So let's hit done again. And you see it didn't delete it because it didn't continue on the installation part. So it's still there. So if you hit it by an accident, reclaim space, it doesn't delete it. It will delete once you begin installation. That's when it starts deleting then, and there's no way out of it. So that's a preserve, which means it's just back to its default, really. But you can do that, and you can delete all and hit reclaim space. Same thing. So I'll delete everything and I'll make a partition for Fedora only, and that's it. So it deletes entire everything. But just to say, you just hit done again. It's all back. Why? Because we didn't continue on. So it was, as I say, when you begin installation, when you've done that, there's no way back out. That's it. It's done. But that's the way this works. So if you want to do it this way, that's the way it works. But what if you wanted to have another hard drive in? So if you had two separate drives, you untick this one and then put the onto that drive. So unfortunately I can't really add the drive in. I have to close down this machine for it to work. I'll try, see if it'll let me do it. So let's add in our hard drive again. And we're going to hit the Linux map one we just did. And let's hit this. And hit OK. Hopefully this let us go. Hopefully that let us put this drive through now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit done. And I'll just do this for badness. And now you go back. Right, so it's not going to let us do that. Can we add a hard disk? It's not showing any drives, so what we do is we just hit done, delete all, reclaim space, and then we hit quit. Yes. And open it again. Hopefully this time now will give us the drive that we're looking for. So we'll wait on this to open again. There we go. Next, or continue. And there you go. We have two drives now. So imagine you put another hard drive in. So never tick this one. This is your Linux Mint one right here, or your Windows. And to show that it is, you tick this box and make sure you free up space. Click on it and you'll see this says Linux Mint on it, or it'll probably say Windows on it, whatever version you're using. So then you just hit cancel on that. So untick that box and tick this one. This is our blank drive. So we hit done. As you can see, it's blank. So you're probably saying, how are we going to get the partition, all that stuff working on it? That is easy. You hit delete all. And once you hit delete all and reclaim space, that's going to automatically delete that part and create its partition automatically. So that's now it's set on that drive only. So now we can get through the user creation and so on and so forth. But we're going to leave that till the next time, because I think this file is on long enough. But you just create, you can if you can prefer to use this version here of the root and put in your password and hit done, or you can use user creation instead. So you can put in your username, password, so on and so forth. But I'm not going to do that because we're not going to go anywhere near it at the minute. So I'm just going to quit this for now and shut it down. And yes, shut it down. And you know what? I'll keep the optional disk in there so I can able to go back in it again if I need to. So I'll keep the optional drive in there. But that's how it works. And then I will show you in, because the grub is old fashioned on Linux Mint. On Fedora, it will be the more modern version. So if you want to start up, once you have that installed, you want to hit start, it will just run under Linux only, Linux Mint only. And I will not go to Fedora, because you have to put this to the top, and then it will come up in the grub. So Fedora be at the top, and you can go down and hit Linux Mint. And it'll come up in, you can use Linux Mint and that. So let's say, for example, for this one, as you see, I had to do it with this one. So test2.vda and then test2 understroke 1, which means it's another version of this. Not the so I had to, that was at the bottom, but I had to move it to the top for to get the grub to work. And I'll give you an example of it right now. Right, so I'll go to here, go to storage, and let's say I put this on the secondary device 1, right, and then put this to primary device 0, and put this to primary device 1, right? So that's back the way it's been had at the start. So Linux Mint's on this one, and Fedora is on the second. So let's see now if I hit start. Is it gonna show the grub? I don't think it's going to show the grub. It's like it's just go run render Linux if I'm using the grub. And voila, runs render Linux. No grub, didn't give you a grub to let you choose. Like so. So let's shut down that. But you can see what I mean. There's no grub. So, but when I change that back, right? So if I put now this to secondary just to move it down, and put this to 0 primary, and then put this to 1 primary. So it's back to that again, right? The way I had it at the start. Now if I hit start, I'll bring up the Fedora grub, but the Fedora knows there's another program, so that pops up as well. because that's a grub as well. So it knows that that has the grub in it. So now we should have a grub version of this. And as you can see, we have the grub version 2.12. And you can see we have Fedora Linux, all different types here, as you can see. But we also got Linux Mint as well, though. All recovery modes and so on. And then some of that there's a recovery that says rescue. So you have the sort of the older version, 16.4 and then the 16.5. So you can see they give you two versions. So I can use now Fedora Linux by clicking on it. So I should run now Fedora, like so. So as you can see, we have Fedora here now, so it's just loading in. It's running a wee bit slow today, but it usually does that. Sometimes I have to close VirtualBox and open it again, and then it runs back to normal again. It always seems to do this all the time. I may have to do that, to get this to work. So I'm going to just do that very quick. So I'm going to power off, close it, close this, and we open it up again. And let's see now if this works. There you go. It works. So there you have it. It shows now when Fedora. See that now? So we're in Fedora. So now we're going to shut down Fedora and start this again. And this time we're going to Linux Mint. So I move down to Linux Mint. And voila. We're using Linux Mint. You see that? So that's the way you can do it. So I already did this setup already. But I'm just going to show you what it'll be like. So I'm going to do that in part 2. But only this time we're going to do Fedora. So more likely Fedora installation. But I should rename the file as partition 1 and 2 to install. But it shows you how to install Linux Mint and how to put snap. So the next one we're going to do is going to install Fedora. So we'll be doing a test in Fedora, and then I'll do the Kabine installation. So you have the two of them, and I'll do N is to have 2 in 1. So I'm gonna have to make a bigger storage to do 2 in 1. So it's sort of while I work on it, to be honest with you, but yeah, but it's fun that way. So, and I already have Fedora installed in my second drive. Mine's would be like this, be 2 separate drives, I guess, but only both of them are 2 terabytes of each. So the Samsung SSD drives, solid disk drives. But that's about it, really. So I hope you enjoyed this, but I know it's a little different. It's not gaming or nothing like that or anything like that. It's a completely different thing altogether. I just thought to try it out. I know it's way long, but it's just to show you that it can work that way. Um, but yeah, that's all I can see for now. And wait until then. Well, we will still Fedora KDE desktop. I don't think we will need any parts, part one or part two, even though I have it set up as part one and part two, or part one that is so far. I might rename it and just call it install Linux Mint full tutorial really. And I really give you sort of a full tutorial. The installation anyway. Not much of a customization though, and all other things, but I'll give you the installation for Fedora KDE Desktop next. So I'll do that sometime, but not tonight. But I will do that sometime for you. And VirtualBox is the best option to go for. To just give you a better example of it. But I hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully see you sometime again. Maybe next week or maybe tomorrow or I don't know. I'll see. I'll see what I'm like. But for now, hope you enjoyed this. I definitely enjoyed this. I love doing things like this. So have a good one, and what else can I say really? My head's just sort of blank today. I do apologize. My head's really blanked up today. I just can't think at all today. But just a lot of things been happening in my life, but too personal. I'm just gonna not too worry about it. Stay positive, stay strong, and we're going to keep going because I love doing things like this, and I'm going to keep back going, do everything. So we'll do Fedora next. So I have it on here now, and not removing it and keeping it there. And we're going to install it on the second drive here that we have here. But then again, we can do it separate too, just by adding in new and rename it Fedora KDE Desktop. And so it'll be like a single drive. So it'll be just SATA port 0, or sometimes they have the IDE instead of the SATA. But it doesn't matter. They work both ways, doesn't really matter. It's just Linux Mint uses SATA ports, and the Fedora for some reason uses KDE. I never understood that, but that's the way they use it. KDE, I said. IDE, I meant to say. IDE primary device 0, IDE primary device 1, and IDE secondary device 0 for an optional drive. So yeah, as easier setup ports, and then they keep the IDE secondary device 0 as an optional drive for the next month. So, but it will still work though on that, so they'll all install on that and it'll work perfectly grand. But you have to move that up to the top for it to work, because they have to use a new version of the grub, and not work the old version way of the grub. I already tried it, doesn't work. It doesn't work. And Windows doesn't work at all alongside with Linux because it's not Linux. I even put it on Aller, still doesn't work. It'll just give a black screen, it'll just blink, and it'll stay on that screen. Won't continue on. But if you have Windows like this, like I have, and then you have Fedora on the actual next drive, it'll work on that, no problem. The grub will work. You can run Windows. It will say Windows Boot Manager on it. So you have to have Linux thing as the top grub. You have to put them at the top of your boot menu. So the storage is something similar as the boot. So you have to move that to the top for the boot to work. Because I put the boot manager on the Linux drive, Linux version of the drive, not my Windows version. If I put it on my Windows version, it could cause a lot of problems because when this computer gets updated to the newest version, it could mess up my boot thing on it. So that's why I moved it on the second drive, but then put that in as the first part, the first boot menu, so that opens up the grub. So then so the Fedora will be at the top because because I put the boot as the on top as the first. So for the grub to show, because if I don't, it's just going to run into Windows and that's it. There'll be no boot menu or anything like that pop up, or no grub menu to show, because the grub is only for Linux, but it knows you have Windows, so it'll come up a grub page to say, right, you have Windows there. So we're gonna put the Windows boot manager below it. So you just move down to below and I'll run right into Windows. So you don't have to worry about going into Linux all the time continuously. But I do go into my Linux as well, because I'm going to go on it right now. Once I shut down this PC, I'm going to go in into Linux, because I'm going to play my Minecraft on Linux, because it seems to run a lot better on Linux. And I'm going to show you the Fedora's version of Prism launcher. It works grand on it. You know what? Actually, I'll do it right now. I know I was going to turn it off, but I'm going to do it right now. I want to see, for example, to show you about this. So run the Fedora. Wonder if I put 0 on this. Yep, I did. Alright, so it brings up the full screen here. And now I'm going to show you example what I mean about Fedora. So here's our Fedora screen here now. So I already have Fedora installed on my machine here. So do I have Prism downloader? I don't, right? So that's good. So I don't have the Prism downloader on here. But I'm going to check to say that I have a snap folders in here. I don't, do I? There's snap here. Right, okay, so there is a snap folder. So let's go to fire, library, open that up. And we'll find out if it's this snapd. We know we already have it in. So we look for snapd. There's snapd right here. And let's see, we want to go to snap. Right, so we definitely don't have that on. We just have the video downloader, which is good. And I don't see the Prism launcher here. BRIS. It says Get Prism launcher from the Software Center. So here's the thing I'm on about, right? So I go to Discover, because I have snapd in. Discover shows the snap programs as well, which is very handy. But when I put in the launcher here now, right? Keep it together. So it shows the Flatpak version of this. So it's supposed to show it's supposed to show the snap files, but it doesn't seem like it's doing that. There's the snap files there. But it's not I wonder why it's not showing the snap files for Prism. Did they actually get rid of that? No. Because I got that to work the last time I installed it from Snap. Like, I don't mind installing from a Flatpak, like, but I did install from Snap. I just don't understand why it doesn't want you to use it no more. Let's see, Snap. So you could do it like this, right? But it'll give you age and so on and so forth. See, it'll give you the the beta version and the age. We don't want that. So we want to get the stable version, even if it says it's not available and stable. But I got to work on stable. So I'm going to open the Firefox here. And we're going to see and get this working. Right. We're going to see and get this working. So we're going to type in PRISM CHER snap. So we want the snap download of the PSM launcher. But they've seen they got rid of it. The gap was there the last time when I did it. So they must have actually removed it from Snap. Because I got this to work the last time, you know. It's not found no more now. They must have got rid of it. Because that there definitely worked. So they definitely got rid of it. I think I still have my backup videos when I did install that. I have to look through it and then they see give you example what I'm on about. I know for a fact I definitely installed a Snap install and used the Prism launcher. I just can't understand why it doesn't work. Then again, I probably didn't actually. I don't know. I just can't think at the minute. I just can't understand why it doesn't work. Like that's 3 days ago too. they type in the following link. You can look at Reddit, and you can probably explain more about it. But as for Windows, though, I don't like the word that says cracked. No, I don't like that word now. But it gives you all the versions here, though, so you can get it from here if you want. But I'm not going to do it from here. But you can. There's a lot of Linux versions of it, but I'd rather not. But like I said, you can just download it from Flatpak, and that'll save you all the hassle. You don't have to worry about the snap feature. I think they just got rid of it altogether. They must have removed it from the Snap Store, because it doesn't show it no more now on the Snap Store itself. You see it give us an error. Page not found. Although, I wonder if there's something to do with the privacy and security, because I have it set to strict. What if I put the standard? Right, and close out of it and reopen. And see if it works. I might not even, but I just want to see. Right, so we'll put in PRISMLAUNCHER, and we want snap download. That's too bright. I'm going to refresh that to get in dark mode. There we go. There's this page here though. No, still an error. So we're going to put it back to strict, so don't get them pop-ups. But there you go. So I should be back now strict again. But I'm not going to worry about it. So unfortunately, they got rid of it. That's all I can think of. It's disappointed, but really I'm disappointed because that was a handy feature for Snap, like. But then again, I shouldn't be even way disappointed, because they do have it here, and it's up to date 9.4. So, and it has good star ratings on this, so I can just download from here, really. So they got rid of it, unfortunately. But that's about it, really. So I hope you enjoyed this, really. Again, sorry, I've went a wee bit longer on it. But that's me now. I'm going to get off it now. And that's about it. So have a good one. And I'll probably be on again tomorrow, next week, whatever. I'll see how it is. If you see me recording, you know I'm on. If you don't see me recording, you know I'm off. Unfortunately, I can't do the schedule free because I'm always have different days. So have a good one, and hope you enjoyed this. So again, have a good one. This Tattoo Kate 1981. Bye bye.